Victoria with us, the Stray Billies. Then I get home to tax bills, personal property, ambulance tax bills, in addition to my negative $60-some for my trash can just to solve that problem and feed my animals and give myself a little meal today. Now I get home to that. You wonder why a lot of us hardcore, extremely devoted Christians scream, "Let us out. Let us out. Let us out." Thumbs, you know, if you really wanted to do something, you could go get that rat. That would be something really great that you could do for us. She's back to the woods. There she goes. She's got to go back to the woods and get chipmunks, cute little chipmunks, instead of this rat. Check out this trash can. How this sucker has gnawed massive holes in my trash can. Son of a... Look at this massive hole. Massive hole. He's eating my new bag of horse feed. And look at all this horse feed just laying here. That is not a mouse. It's a damn rat. Damn it. Now I've solved this problem and it's raining. Rain of the gods. Rain of the gods. Ugh. The life of a stray billy. Yep. This is what you have to endure. In my little shack here where I keep everything. My last of life's possessions that probably now have rat shit all in them. So I guess I'll have to come down here later and sweep all of this nasty grain out that they've gotten into after I put my other food away. Take care of stuff at the house. Some days. Mama said there'd be days like these. So, in follow-up, just to talk about taxes, I went down to our local little county tax office because our school ratings are just plummeted down on the level. And I asked if I said I'm going to pay my taxes, but I refuse to support commie-run schools, so I'm going to deduct that. Oh, you can't make a partial payment, you got to pay in full. So we also have to pay to run our commie school systems. Not to mention the fact that if you can't even do an act of civil disobedience, such as a group of us form and say we're not going to pay school taxes and we're thwarted at a local level, then how can we even claim we have any freedoms? We don't even have freedom of how we spend our money that we have to go out and slave wage for. So just a little thought. Just a little thought on that as well. You can't even do civil disobedience in a nice way, like fix our schools or we're not paying your taxes. And for anyone that doesn't think that our school systems are communist run and have an agenda, let's go to our Hope for the Wicked, or Hope of the Wicked. To the National Education Association, founded in 1857. The NEA was a professional association. Today it is the nation's chief education lobby. The millions of NEA certified teachers carry out its radical agendas in the nation's schools. Unlike federal government unions, teachers' unions are not subject to Hatch Act restrictions on political activity. In fact, former U.S. Education Secretary William Bennett identifies the NEA as the absolute heart and center of the Democratic Party. Because of its labor union status, the NEA can legally organize members into an army of campaign volunteers. The hefty annual budget of the Political Action Committee is used to tap legal, political, and economic powers of the U.S. Congress. Yet to be determined is the amount of taxpayer money used to pay teachers while engaging in union activities. The NEA works hand in glove with Planned Parenthood and the Sex Information and Education Council. Gay rights activists form an extremely powerful faction in the NEA, which promotes tolerance for all homosexuality and commends gay contributions throughout history. Due to the public outrage, the NEA saturates most of the nation with its 52 state level and 13,000 local level affiliates. Nonetheless, the NEA gets surprisingly little negative attention from Washington's colossal press corps. Well, of course not. Look, she's here. Can't go chase the rat. She's up here on my lap. Anyway, yeah, I'm after the rat. The rat is our taxes are funding commie-run schools where Eleanor Roosevelt went over to Russia, communist Russia, and liked their little well-behaved boys and girls, but especially boys, because they don't want any leaders in the male faction to actually do anything to change our society unless they're making the changes. So there you have it. Taxes, trash can, rats, cat. That's my day. At least I got air in my tires. You know, Scripture says, with an increase in knowledge or wisdom comes an increase in sorrow. And although people can see me sometimes and I'm happy and trying to enjoy this little bit of life that I have down here, I understand exactly how corrupt, literally corrupt, every facet of it is. And that's when you learn to just accept and speak out. And, you know, I don't really care who wants to hear it or not.